You're never going to guess what this good-looking bartender did to me. Good day, and thank you for listening to this short 10-minute demo CD. This general demo covers the first part of one of my 3 most important magnificent sales ideas of the top 4%. What is the true key to building and establishing a mind-boggling level of trust? My live presentations are tailored and adapted to one's sales group's industry and customized and personalized for each specific audience. Enjoy. Recently, I went into a big-name steak and seafood restaurant. I was all by myself, so I went into the lounge area and I sat at the bar. Now, I was the only one sitting at the bar. Eventually, the bartender came down, acting as nice as she could be. She continued to be as pleasant as she could be throughout the next half hour. Meanwhile, in the back of my mind, I was thinking, faker! You big faker! You see, she had ignored me for over 6 minutes. Okay, she was very busy at the other end of the bar, serving all the waiters and waitresses. But at one point, she was standing right in front of me doing some bartending stuff, and she could have just reached over and tapped me on the shoulder if she wanted. Did she make eye contact with me? No. Did she look up at me and say, "I'll be with you as soon as I can"? No. She had ignored me for 6 minutes. Did she care about me? I didn't believe it. You see, her actions spoke louder than her words. I recently read it is the policy of a leading subway chain that every customer get acknowledged somehow within 5 seconds of coming through the front door. The business book mantra for decades has always been excellence in customer service. Care for your customers. Well, I maintain that if you want to care for your customers, you need to like your customers. In order to like all your customers, one needs to like all strangers. And in order for one to truly like all strangers, one needs to love all people unconditionally. Now, this is where you might be thinking, Christopher, you are crazy. Well, I hallucinate that the top 4%ers do love all people unconditionally. Imagine for a moment you're entering onto the 401. You're on the entrance ramp when all of a sudden, from out of nowhere, comes a car speeding up behind you. It passes you on the shoulder and almost cuts one off. What would one's immediate reaction be towards the supposed crazed driver? Honk, honk, you jerk, or maybe even the finger. Or would one automatically attempt to reframe the situation and presume in one's mind that that supposed crazed driver must have someone having a heart attack in the back seat and is just trying to get to a hospital in a hurry? Now, the other day when I told this story, I said, I had someone in the audience say, well, how about the guy who's on the cell phone? And my answer was, how do you know he's not dictating to someone on the other end on how to give CPR and he's just trying to get there to help try and save someone's life? Are we always automatically forgiving of those around us, regardless of how things appear? Imagine for a moment your name is Graham or Lou Schneider. The year is 2003, and your son, Dan Schneider, is an NHL hockey player with the Atlantic Thrashers. Your son, Dan Schneider, was traveling in fellow teammate Danny Heatley's Ferrari. Danny Heatley was traveling way too fast. He took a curve and lost control. The Ferrari hit an iron fence and split in two. Your son, Dan Schneider, within a week, dies from his head injuries. What would one's feelings be towards Danny Heatley? Well, Graham Schneider has been quoted as saying, "Forgiveness is also a part of being human, and we know there's nothing to gain from harboring resentment or anger towards others. We are all human beings, and we know humans make mistakes." Wow! Danny Heatley was originally charged with vehicular homicide, but because of the Schneider's family's insistence, he was allowed to plead guilty to 4 lesser charges. He was given 3 years probation and an order to give 150 talks on the dangers of speeding. Superior Court Judge Barnes said that he wondered if the roles had been reversed, whether or not he could have been as forgiving as the Schneider family was. Okay, let's go back to the bartender. My thought at the time was, she didn't care. But who knows? Maybe just a week before she had buried a child and she was just walking around in the fog. Who knows? Am I crazy to think that forgiveness is at the heart of loving all people? Let me get back to my original question. What is the true key to building trust with one's prospects and one's customers? Well, I maintain that if one loves all people unconditionally and is forgiving, one will automatically be affectionate, amiable, sincere, sensitive, compassionate, caring, empathetic, thoughtful, warm-hearted, and understanding. One will then automatically never mislead, never overstate, and never exaggerate. One will automatically be a person of true integrity who is honest, honorable, principled, responsible, trustworthy, truthful, and upright. So, if one loves all people unconditionally and is forgiving, one will then automatically sell with integrity, and one will automatically build trust with one's prospects and one's customers. I trust you enjoyed this opening to one of my 3 most important, magnificent sales ideas of the top 4%. Not counting con artists who have no conscience, we know that the success of the top 20% of salespeople is primarily a result of them having a very high level of emotional intelligence. If salespeople do not in fact love all people unconditionally and are forgiving, then they must try to be good actors. But I was talking about the top 20% of the top 20%. If you've had a chance to read Blink, The Power of Thinking Without Thinking, then you know that our prospects and our customers are unconsciously extremely intelligent and do make gut feel decisions in microseconds. That is why the top 4% who do love all people unconditionally are outrageously naturally successful at all aspects of rapport and are loved by their customers. In a year, we all have approximately 20 million conscious thoughts. My keynote presentations develops this first idea further and my other 2 magnificent sales ideas so that the other 96% of salespeople can make positive changes to become a part of the top 4% in their industry. Thank you for listening to this demo. I hope that I will have the honor of serving you and speaking to your salespeople soon. Make it an insanely great day.